First of all, hello to our lovely friends in Norway, Canada, New Zealand and Palestine, as well as the UK. Thank you for loyally listening to these ramblings. Today is Easter Saturday. Our daughter was to be married today, so the date has been etched in my mind for a year. Yesterday I talked about theology and theory, about sin and forgiveness. It's not easy to make sense of it. And sin is a slippery word. Nowadays it can mean eating a cream bun. Abuse is a more powerful word. We abuse ourselves, we abuse each other, we abuse the planet. What's easier to understand is how Jesus put abuse, love and forgiveness into practice. Jesus modelled something extraordinary. He was incredibly good, but not in a wishy-washy way. He hung out with outcasts and abusers, from lepers to corrupt tax collectors, and he broke all cultural norms by talking with a Samaritan woman with a dodgy sex life, encouraging her towards a new life, never condoning but never condemning. He also had meals with the religious establishment, and despite being a guest, he didn't mince his words. He said what needed to be said. And this passage is a beautiful example of Jesus dealing with a woman in a loving and respectful way, and also responding to the religious establishment who were trying to trap him and were being somewhat economical with the truth regarding the law of Moses. This is John 8, verse 2 to 11. At dawn, Jesus appeared again in the temple courts, where all the people gathered around him, and he sat down to teach them. The teachers of the law and the Pharisees brought in a woman caught in adultery. They made her stand before the group and said to Jesus, "Teacher, this woman was caught in the act of adultery. In the law, Moses commanded us to stone such woman. Now what do you say?" They were using this question as a trap in order to have a basis for accusing him. But Jesus bent down and started to write on the ground with his finger. When they kept on questioning him, he straightened up and said to them, "If any of you is without sin, let him be the first to throw a stone at her." Again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. At this, those who heard began to go away one at a time, the older ones first, until only Jesus was left, with the woman still standing there. Jesus straightened up and asked her, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" "No one, sir," she said. "Then neither do I condemn you," Jesus declared. "Go now and leave your life of sin." Not condoning, but not condemning. Sadly, the church hasn't always got that right. But it seems to me that that is what forgiveness and God's love is all about in practice.